What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Jimnasium Picks Porch Show, the only show that's in a garage but also on a porch at the same time, giving out your fucking best picks for the weekend action. As always, I am your host, XFL Jim, joined by my illustrious, lovely co-host Chase Lupine Fiasco Sesums. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing wonderful. I'm looking forward to this weekend. We got some great football. Mainly one team that hails from Fayetteville, Arkansas, that may or may not be represented by a running Razorback on that helmet. Let's go, Hogs.
Let's go, Hogs. I'm rooting for my Huskers as well. I'm not confident against Michigan State. Michigan State's looking fucking good, and Nebraska's on a back-to-back road game, but I'm hoping. I'm very hopeful. And we are joined by a special guest, Isaac Avant. Let me know if I ever fucking mispronounce anything on this show. How are you doing, my man? Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
So Avant. A lot of people get it wrong.
Avant.
So don't
Okay,
forget.
my bad.
No, you're all good. So Indianapolis, Indiana. I own a print and embroidery company called Three Stacks Manufacturing. And I'm pretty good at the football picks. So yeah, there's that.
He is a little bit. You hit a fucking huge parlay last week. Tell the people about that.
Yeah, so last week I hit on the 7-leg. It was comprised of like 4 money lines and then 2 spreads and then under. So turned 500 into 11K, and then had another parlay hit, turned 50 into 1100. Week before that, had a few picks, actually, few parlays that turned 200 into 2600, 200 into 2200, 100 into 1400, and then 100 into 1100. So yeah, I've been hitting pretty much lately.
Parlay so what are you king up in this bitch?
What do you like to play mainly?
He called Parlay King, man.
Yeah, he called you the Parlay. I was trying to get to the substance stuff, stuff for the people,
Yeah.
So what do you like to play? Are you like a guy? Are you a spread guy? You like playing totals? Like what? Or is it just a little bit of everything?
So since FanDuel gives a lot of different options, I mainly go with the spreads, but they have amazing options on there, like with all the props. So I like to do the parlays. So they have like an alternate line, alternate over under type of thing, and those are gold almost every time. I don't think I've missed not one time with those picks. Now I'm thinking about it, but basically it'll give you, like, let's say it's for instance this weekend. I think the Jets are going to cover. I think the Broncos are going to win, right? They have an alternate spread where you're giving the Jets 13.5, and then the alternate under is like 52.5, which if you watch any Jets game ever this year, they're not going to score a lot of points.
Right.
So, and then the odds on there are like plus 105. So, it's great.
It's fucking awesome. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to do a lightning round, basically. We're just going to go around in a nice little circle, give out our picks for the weekend. It doesn't matter how many you have, how little you have, as long as they're picks, as long as you're feeling them in your gut and your heart. That's what we're about here on the Jimnasium. We're about gut and heart health.
All right.
We promote gut health here. We're a health-centric podcast.
Perfect.
So let's start with Let's start with our special guest, Isaac. What is your first play of the weekend?
First play is going to be Georgia minus 34.5 versus Vandy. Vandy sucks, and Georgia's defense, to me, is the best in the nation. So I don't think they're going to score a point.
My boy XFL Jim here has like an auto fade list of teams that he just chases around.
I have a list of like teams that I just auto fade no matter what. Vanderbilt has entered that list. This year they are on that list. What was that?
No, I was agreeing with you, definitely.
Yeah, they're one of, I would put them in the bottom 3 Power 5 teams.
Probably
easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Chase, we'll go to you next. What are you feeling this weekend, my man?
This could last all weekend. Hell, this one might last into next week. So I did really well over the summer playing the Major League Baseball, betting money lines, putting together parlays. And I've got my own little system for looking at Major League Baseball, which is I bet against streaks. I went through, I figured out what's the average length of a Major League Baseball winning streak. What's the average length of each team's winning streak? And I start looking for teams that have gone past that length of their winning streak. So, say a team's average winning streak is like 3 games. Well, once they hit like 4 or 5 games, it starts becoming, statistically less likely that they're going to win each game. Like it's like they have a coin flip and they just keep flipping heads. Like eventually it's going to come up tails. So the St. Louis Cardinals are on a 14-game winning streak. They're going to win tonight against the Cubs. They've got a few more games with the Cubs this weekend, and they are going to be pounded on the money line. You can count on plus money on the Cubs. I'm going to keep betting against the Cardinals until they lose, basically, because I feel like it's any game now. It could be tomorrow, it could be Sunday, it could be Monday, but that streak is going to be coming to an end. They can't win the rest of them.
I like that. I have adopted this system. I just kind of like look on I'll just go on like the score or Yahoo Sports or whatever and just look at a team streak right now and either tail or fade it depending on how hot I think they're going to get. My first pick is, guess what? I'm going to be giving you probably all my auto fade picks this week. Give me Iowa minus 22.5 versus Colorado State. Colorado State is the worst coach team in the nation. I know there are worse teams, like Bowling Green is a worse team. Akron is probably a worse team. Steve Adazio does not deserve a job. And 22.5 points, it's not enough for this Iowa team who proved last week, even in a letdown spot, they could still cover these massive spreads.
Colorado State's just like a dead place for coaching. It's like you coach, you go there to die. And it's like, this is going to be the last coaching job I have, not because I'm just going to like win it all and go out, but just because I'm going to be fired pretty soon because it's going to be bad.
Yeah. They're rising the ranks of the auto fade teams.
Absolutely.
Isaac, what's your next play?
You might hate me for this one, so you know where I'm going with. But I'm taking Michigan State on the spread. Main reason being, Nebraska, I believe when I looked, they are 81st in rushing defense, and Michigan State running back is number 1 in the country yards per game, and number 2 in the country yards per rush. So it's gonna be a long day. If you know anything about football, if you control the line of scrimmage, you're controlling the game.
The counterpoint to that is they did shut down Oklahoma's running game fairly effectively. But I'm with you there. I think Michigan State is looking fantastic. And if not for their offense, their defense can probably easily shut down Nebraska. Not to mention it is the second slate of a back-to-back road game, and that's brutal for teams. And I know most college teams don't win like both games of back-to-back road games. They especially don't usually win the second one. And I think more often than not, they don't even cover. So I don't hate the play.
Yeah.
I have learned just never to bet on Nebraska one way or the other, because every time I bet on this fucking team, on my team, they let me down. Either when I bet against them, they'll fucking cover or win. And when I bet on them, they just get destroyed. It's
kind of the same thing. So I'm from Indianapolis, right? And the same exact thing happens with the Colts. It doesn't matter what year it is, what quarterback, what defense we have, anything. If I bet on them to win, they lose. If I bet on them to lose, they win. So I don't touch them anymore.
It's the same. It's the same shit.
So how does someone sprain both ankles?
So let's start by saying he's an idiot. Let's start by saying that. Just get down. Like you're not Lamar Jackson. You're not Russell Wilson. You're not Patrick. Get down, dude. Like, come on. Like, you're not Josh Allen. You're not 6'5", 250, dude. Get down.
Yeah. You are average size and ginger. It's not going to end well for you.
Where do you stand on the Jacob Eason train, by the way?
I'm not big on the dude at all. So
it's fair.
I'm pretty sure they're getting. That's another one, and I guess I can wait for it. But I think the Titans are going to obliterate the Colts on Sunday.
What's your next play, Chase?
I'm looking through the NFL right now, and I'm looking at a total here. I'm not really a big total player, but I think I'm going to take a chance in the over in the Bengals and Steelers game. I feel like the Bengals can generate points, but they're also going to give up a lot of points. The Steelers, I don't think that they have much of a run game. I feel like they're going to be throwing the ball, airing it out. It's not going to be like a clock control game. There's going to be, I'd say, probably a total of 85 passes attempted in this game. And so I'm looking at nitrobetting.eu right now, and I'm actually looking at some of these alternative totals. And because I see plus money, I'm actually going to try the over 44 here at plus 109.
Ooh, I like that. I like it. I'm also got some NFL overs. I was kind of feeling the over train in the NFL today. I know Isaac's not high enough, but I do. I don't know why. I was kind of a fan of Jacob Eason coming out of Washington. I think he can be decent, and I think this Titans defense is not very good, and this Colts defense honestly isn't that good either. I'm hitting the over in this game. I'm hitting the over in the Colts Titans over 47.5. I think the Titans cover. I definitely think they cover, but I think the Colts playing from behind are going to be trying to sling it out and try and get points. And this Titans backfield is not good enough to defend the ball.
I got a hot take. Go ahead, Isaac.
So question. You know how sometimes in the NFL it's sort of a politic type of thing. With all right, we brought this guy in, so we're not about to bench him, right? Since you're on the Eastern train, do you honestly think he's better or could be better, but they're not starting him just because of they're paying Wentz?
Maybe. I think it could be a thing of like everyone. I think since 2016, 2017. That amazing run he had from like those 2016 to 2018, everyone's thinking like, yeah, they're just like, can we get Wentz back to that level? Because that Wentz, like the MVP, like Super Bowl leading, like taking his team to the playoffs, Wentz, that he's better than Eason, but he's better than a lot of players.
For sure.
I just don't know if he could get back to that level.
The problem is he set the market. He set the market when they gave him that big extension in Philadelphia. And it's like, that's what is like his baseline now is like, he's going to have to get knocked down like a few pegs and still be paid that much for a while until he either gets picked up by another team and they pay him what he's worth. Like it's going to take a little bit for the market to correct itself. I think he's just fucked in the head. Like I think Philadelphia just broke him. Like that's my only
like broken spirit type. It's like a broken spirit type of thing. I get it.
The city hated down. He's a broken man, both physically and spiritually.
And when Philadelphia hates you, like
they hate you.
You are in for a rough couple years.
Yeah.
Even after you leave Philadelphia, the mental scars are still there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on Easton. I'm on this over. I think I'm with you that the Titans probably cover, but I like it for sure. Isaac, what's your next play in the porch?
All right, so next play, looking at Wyoming, and like you said, there's some teams that just you fade immediately, and UConn is definitely one of them. If you let Purdue University hang 56 on you and you don't score a point, you have some troubles. And if you're looking at and you look back at Wyoming's schedule, they're a team that can put up points. So I'm looking at them. And another thing I found out, UConn is starting 15 freshmen on Saturday.
They're a young team.
Exactly. So I'm taking Wyoming first half spread just in case any backdoor stuff happens. But Wyoming first half spread 17.5. I'm taking it.
I'm taking Wyoming first half and overall. And UConn is coming off of a high. They covered last week against Army, but that was a bullshit cover because Army was putting in their like third stringers by the second quarter. So
yeah,
disgusted. I was so mad at that game. Chase, what you got next for us?
I think we all know where I'm going next with this. We're gonna take Arkansas. We're gonna take an alternate spread. We're gonna hit the plus 4.5 to get plus 103 on that, and then we are also gonna hit them on the money line at plus 181. They win this game. They win this game. They're on the revenge tour this year. I love what Sam Pittman is doing. We've got a quarterback who can run the ball, who I think is a little bit of an underrated thrower. Our defense is insane. We have a linebacker whose name is Bumper Pool. The dude's name is Bumper Pool. That is the best linebacker name ever. He is. He is great. That's the best part.
He's really good.
Yeah. He's not Fisher Price Bumper Pool. He's like grown folks Bumper Pool, man. Like, yeah, I'm all over this, and I think Arkansas rolls into Athens, Georgia next week, and we have a SEC matchup of the undefeateds.
Yeah, it won't go well for Arkansas. I'll just let you know now. Spoiler alert.
There's be fighting words on this podcast, but I respect it.
Well, this is a fun show. I got to sign off.
I am giving the people something that they better be listening now because these games are happening tonight, or should I say tomorrow morning. I'm heading over to Korea for some baseball picks. I am on the NC Dinos money line. I've been cheering this team on since the get-go. They were one of like my main teams to root for during like COVID last year when there was nothing on besides Korean baseball. I became a Dinos fan that year. Diehard Dinos fan, day one. They're going to win this game. And you're getting plus money on it, plus 132.
I think where the Toronto Raptors messed up is where they zoned in on like one species of dinosaur. Like the NC Dinos of the KBO, they represent all the dinosaurs.
They get them all.
The meat eaters, the plant eaters, all of them. The flying ones, the swimming ones. I mean, how can you beat that?
You can't. You just don't beat the Dinos.
Unless you're a Comet. Then it might.
I don't think the KBO has a team called the Comets though.
Oh, then they go undefeated.
Exactly. Exactly. What you got up next, Isaac?
All right, so NFL, Monday Night Football, Eagles and Cowboys. So I'm taking the over in that. The Eagles, they can provide a lot of big splash plays. And even against a good 49ers defense, you see, I believe it was Rager down the right sideline. They got a long pass down on them. Now, Jalen Hurts didn't throw for a single touchdown in that game, but he still threw 190 and ran for 82 yards on that defense. Cowboys defense is abysmal. So I think anybody can put up points on them. And also on the flip side, I don't think there's a single defense in the whole league that's going to stop this Cowboys wide receiving core, especially with Dak at the helm. So I think I'm taking over in that.
I like that. I like that play a lot. I also like that the Eagles are starting to use Rager a little bit better.
Yep.
Chase, where are we going?
God, I hope Leo's not watching because actually I don't want him to watch this and condone my behavior that's about to happen. But I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears plus 7.5. Justin Fields is going to be starting. You got Baker Mayfield. I can't remember if it's a hurt shoulder or hurt pectoral muscle. Be it the shoulder or the boobie, he's not going to be playing quite as well as he has been. You've also got Jarvis Landry down. They're going to be trotting out a little bit of a hobbled Odell Beckham, who's going to be making his first start coming off the ACL tear. I kind of really like Chicago here, and I'm going to play the 7.5. I might dabble on the money line. If I do, it's going to be like half a unit, just because it's a low risk, high reward kind of play.
I like that. I definitely don't hate it. I still am not sold on the Bears as much as Leo is. He's like on the Bears is like a the way he talks. They seem like almost a deep playoff team. That's not true. It's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. I am going over to the other football, the kind that's spelled with a U. And I'm betting on the only soccer team that I know and am a fan of, and that's Man City on the money line.
Man City on the money line. Who are they playing?
As simple as that. Let me look it up real quick. Who are they playing? They are going to be playing Chelsea. I mean, that's a tough game. It's a tough game for sure, but I think they can do it.
I'm going to counter your pick. I'm going to play the draw plus 217.
Don't hate that either. I don't hate it. Man City's my team. I got to back my boys.
You know what soccer loves doing? Ending in ties.
It does. It really does. Isaac, where are we going next?
All right, so sticking with NFL, this one I'm pretty confident on. I'm confident in the first pick, but there's a million picks from this game that I think are going to hit. The Cards touchdowns. They have them at 3.5 versus the Jags' terrible defense. And if you're telling me that Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and Rondé Miller aren't going to put up 4 touchdowns in that game,
You're
call
lying
you a
to
lie
me.
right now.
Yeah.
So taking that, honestly, I would take the spread on it. I would take the halftime spread. Take whatever prop you want to for the Cardinals. Just hammer it down against the Jags. They're terrible this year.
I'm on the Jags being the worst team in the NFL this year. They look abysmal.
They may. And
Urban Meyer is hilarious. Urban Meyer is hilarious when he's like.
Did you hear the comment about Alabama?
I did. It's like every week we're playing Alabama. Now we just need another picture of Urban, like sad Urban eating pizza. That's what we need now.
Poor Urban. It couldn't have happened to a better guy. Couldn't happen
Right?
to a better guy.
Couldn't have.
Dirtbag.
Where are we going next, Chase?
This one's going to kick off in about 30 minutes. It's the team that I'm absolutely in love with. It's the Fresno State Bulldogs against a terrible UNLV game. This has actually changed since this morning. You cannot get plus money on the points anywhere in this game. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the minus 30.5 at minus 102 because it's the best money I can get for what I feel like a lock. Fresno State by 40.
So I auto fade teams. UNLV isn't quite an auto fade team, but they do have an auto fade player starting at quarterback in one Tathan Martell.
Tate Martell?
Tate Martell is the starting quarterback of the UNLV.
Is that where he ended up?
Yeah, he's in UNLV.
Wow.
And he looked like shit last week.
I believe it. And if anybody transfers, what is this? His fourth school, fifth?
It's like fourth or fifth. It's fucking crazy.
You're not good. I'm sorry.
That's like Nick Starkel.
A little bit. I think he transferred twice, didn't he?
He went from
Ohio
from
State.
A&M, Arkansas, San Jose State.
Oh yeah, Starkel. Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Up next, I have a college football team who is on my auto fade list, and right now they might be the number one team. It's New Mexico State. They're playing Hawaii. Hawaii is minus 17. I think these schools play each other like 3 times this year. Something like I think Hawaii plays. I definitely know they play twice, but I think Hawaii proved last week when they played San Jose State that they're a good enough team to at least dominate very lesser opponents, and I think New Mexico State is a very lesser opponent. So give me Hawaii minus 17.
I like it. You're all about those Rainbow Warriors, man. And
I've been a fan for a while.
They bit us at roughly like 3:30 Eastern time or 3:30 Central time AM last Sunday whenever they couldn't pull out against Nick Starkel and San Jose State. Fucking Nick Starkel. It always comes back to Nick Starkel.
What we got next, Isaac?
All right, so switching over to college football. Clemson and NC State. This game I'm taking the under. It's at 47.5. And if you look it up, I believe both defenses are some of the top rushing defenses in the nation. Clemson's been struggling on offense, and I believe they just lost their running back to the transfer portal. So I'm taking the under on this. DJ Ungule, I'm not sold on him at all. Clemson's been struggling on offense anyway. So I don't think their defense is good enough to hold NC State. So I'm taking the under 47.5.
I like that one.
I got Clemson on upset alert this week. I feel like they're real vulnerable to that NC State team. Who is the coach at NC State? It's like Dorn.
Dave Dorn.
Dave Dorn is he's a good coach. His name keeps popping up in all these different coaching searches, and he's been sticking with NC State. He's building a little something there. Yeah, I think they're big time upset alert.
Who did they play? Oh, Mississippi State, where they just got like outclassed and embarrassed. I think that's usually not something that happens to an NC State team. I don't know if they win because I just don't. I can't trust them winning outright against Clemson, but I definitely think they cover, and I definitely think it's a low-scoring game. Clemson's time is coming. You know me, Chase. I've been calling a certain team to upset them for a while, and that time is coming. Just wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
My next pick. Where do I want to go? You know what? I'll just do another auto fade team. Minnesota minus 31. Bowling Green. Bowling Green, one of the worst teams in the country. They fired what's his name? Brian Van Gorder, the worst defensive coordinator of all time. But they're still a really bad team. And I think Minnesota is just well coached enough that, and PJ Fleck, I feel like he's someone that would care about something like this. So he's gonna get the cover for sure.
I love PJ Fleck. I love him so much. Like I'm pretty happy with who we got now. But if he somehow ended up somewhere else, I would want PJ Fleck at Arkansas pronto. All right. I know better than this. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Atlanta Falcons on the money line against the New York Giants.
Oh, I'm glad you preceded that message with saying that you know better.
I know better. I do. I do know better, but I also know that Danny Dimes is like a vending machine that if you just bump it the right way, he just gives you all the chips for free. That's how he is with fumbles.
You mean my starting quarterback in fantasy football this weekend?
Are you fucking kidding me? What is wrong with you?
The Danny Dimes Sterling Shepard stack, it's going to be undefeated this week.
Yikes. Yeah, I know better, but I don't know. I think that the old dog maybe has some tricks in them. I also think that Joe Judge is a moron. I think Joe Judge is a human stupid person and will somehow mess that game up and somehow give it to Atlanta.
He very well could. What we got next, Isaac, from you?
All right, so I'm going with the home team. Not home team, but my favorite team, the New York Jets. I'm thinking they're going to cover 10.5 versus the Broncos. Broncos are back at home this week. They're a great team with Teddy and everything. But one, I think our defense is great enough to where we'll keep it respectable. I'm pretty sure we'll lose still. But covering 10.5 is a lot of points. And plus, I saw a stat the other day that every Jets QB, after they've thrown 4 interceptions, as you see what Bill did to my boy last week. That was awful. But after
he was injured. He was injured. It's fine. He had a groin injury. It's all good.
Sure, if you want to call that. But after they throw 4 interceptions, they go back and they win. I think they're 4-1 the next game. And I think with Salah at the helm, I'm pretty sure we'll cover that.
I like that. Is that the game's in Denver, right?
In Denver.
Give me the Jets. Teddy only covers on the road. That's kind of his deal. He only covers on the road.
It's a plus 10 or sorry, minus 10.5. You have to just sit up and take notice anytime that there's an NFL game that has a double-digit spread. Like,
right.
I think it's an overreaction.
I feel like it's an overreaction also. Denver looked good against a Giants team, which I just kind of sang their praises, what I think of them. And Teddy's good. Teddy's not a dynamic playmaker by any means. I do like this Zach Wilson kid. I like the Zach Wilson kid quite a bit, and I think he's going to be something. If they can hold on to a coach for longer than maybe like 3 years and a coaching staff along with him, if they can give him like consistency at offensive coordinator, because that's what happened to Darnold. I think it's starting to look up for the Jets.
Yeah, I think as long as we get an O-line, I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I think that was always the biggest thing besides the horrible coach, Gase. But besides him being at the helm, we just needed an O-line to protect Sam because every time he had time, he played a great game. And I think it's the same with Zach. Yeah,
I think you see it with like the Dolphins, you see it with the Giants, you see it with the Jets. The offensive line is, in my opinion, it's the most important like position you can fill.
If I'm an NFL GM, I know that I'm going to take. I've got like a top pick. I know I'm going to take a quarterback. I'm making trades to do whatever I can do to get a second pick in the first round to get a big ass offensive tackle to protake him. Like I don't know why that's not standard practice. That's true. It
ended up getting injured.
Yeah, that like team that like joint practice in Green Bay ended up just being the worst thing ever to happen to the Jets, because I want to say on that trip they lost like 3 or 4 guys for the season.
Yeah, we did.
It was brutal. It was brutal. Yeah. Chase, what's your next pick?
Whoo, so many choices. Let's look at Missouri and Boston College.
Ooh.
I hate picking against SEC teams, but I hate Missouri even more. I'm gonna take Boston College with the +1 here, and I'm also gonna take them on the money line. It's not huge odds, but still, I think I'm not high on Missouri. I do not think that they're a great football team. Boston College is just decent enough to pull this out, and you got an SEC team who's going outside of the southeastern United States. That's usually a prescription for a recipe for a loss.
Exactly. My next pick. It's another one that you better be watching live because this game's happening tonight. I'm going over to Japan with some baseball now. Give me the Nippon Ham Fighters on the money line. This is my favorite team in all of baseball. They're plus 140 on the money line, and I think they just kill it.
They're literally called the Ham Fighters.
Yes, they are called the Nippon. They're the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters.
They will fight you.
They're up against a SoftBank today. So
can you imagine just getting hit with a ham? And I'm not talking about like deli slices of ham. I'm talking about getting hit with like a honey baked, like spiral cut, glazed,
full ham.
That's going to do some damage. They fight with those things. They are ham fighters.
Yeah,
you hollow out the inside. You kind of use them like boxing gloves.
Yeah, I don't want that. I just got done playing football. I had enough concussions in my life. I don't want to touch that.
Exactly.
Now, did you play a Wabash? Is that right?
Yeah, played at Wabash. Yeah.
Nice.
Someone did their Googling. That's me. That's right.
What you got up next for us, Isaac?
All right, so I'm taking the Bills spread. I'm not sold on this Washington defense at all. Well, I'm not gonna say at all, but I believe they're overhyped. Like coming into the season, last season they did well. Coming into the season, they had a lot of hype around them. I believe in the front four. The back seven is some of the I won't say worst players, but they are not as good as advertised, especially versus a Bills team that has Stephon Diggs, that brought in E-Man, have Josh Allen at quarterback. I don't believe the Washington will cover it all. I believe it's -7. You don't have the hook on there too, so if it doesn't hit, get your money back. But I'm pretty sure they're going to beat them pretty handily.
You are fading my boy, XFL legend Taylor Heineke. I just want to let you know that.
I believe it's all right. It's all right. He's a good quarterback. I actually like him. Don't get me wrong. But
Isaac does two things. He hits parlays and he says, "Fuck your Twitter handle, XFL Jim."
That's fair.
It's all right, bro. I'm sorry. I just got to do it. I got to do it.
No, as long as Heineke looks good, I'm fine with the Bills covering.
There we go.
I like the
Bills -7
too.
and Heineke for 300 yards. There we go.
Yeah, I think that defense for Washington is still a little bit overhyped from last year. And by overhyped, like they were legitimately good last year. I don't know what's up this year because nothing changed. But that backfield is not impressive.
Nah.
Chase, where are we going?
I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. I want the Chargers +7. I am in love with this Chargers team. I had Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen last year on my fantasy team, so it meant that I watched a lot of Chargers games, more Chargers games than most people probably would, given the season that they had. They're good. They are a good team. They've got a lot of pieces. As long as they've got what's his name from Florida State back and healthy,
Derwin James.
Yes, as long as they have Derwin James playing in that defensive secondary, he might cause some trouble for the Legion of Zoom, I think. They've got a great pass catching and running back with Austin Eckler. You can almost just rely on just three things happening in life: death, taxes, and Justin Herbert hitting Keenan Allen for at least 10 balls and a touchdown in a game. And I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs are a little bit suspect now this season. Last week against the Ravens was the first time that I've seen in probably since before the AFC Championship game, the year that they won the Super Bowl, where they actually got out to a lead. It seems like they've been just coasting into games, spotting teams a bunch of points, and then coming back and getting it done late, and it's going to come back and bite them. It's going to come back and bite them eventually. And I think that the Chargers, they might not win outright. Don't misunderstand me, but I think that the Chargers keep it close and they keep it within a touchdown. They did it last year, in his first start, and he only had 2 minutes to prepare for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they cover, but I don't think it's for the reasons that you say, as far as the Chargers being able to slow down Kansas City and everything. I just don't believe in Kansas City's D at all, and I do believe in Justin Herbert, especially in the second year. So yeah, I believe they cover.
I mean,
I'm on the over in that game too.
Yeah, couldn't slow down Cleveland last week. They're up big, and then they can't stop. They can't stop Lamar, and they can't stop the Ravens passing game. Which, I mean, I'm not giving it very much credit right now, though. That opinion could definitely change later in the year because it looks like Sammy Watkins might actually be like a number one he actually has maybe turned into
give
a
him a couple weeks. He always seems to let down. But if
so
he doesn't,
okay,
if he
right,
doesn't, then they're a fucking legit team.
hold on, because you've said this a few times, and you've said it, and I this came to me the last time you said it, and that's I feel like you can't read too much into what Sammy Watkins has done the last couple of years. Whenever he has Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, people catching balls out of the backfield, Mecole Hardman, Darnell Robinson, like they all catch balls. Like it's easy to just get lost in the fold. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sammy Watkins.
Don't hate it. He kills my fantasy. He's killed my fantasy teams too many times. So maybe I'm a little biased against him, but I mean, he could be a really good wide receiver one. And I think Hollywood Brown is actually developing. As long as Hollywood Brown doesn't drop balls like a motherfucker, he's a good receiver.
Yeah.
Or you get killed because he's so tiny. So tiny.
But he's good. He's fucking good. My next play, I'm going to NASCAR. I'm a redneck who loves me some fast cars. I don't watch NASCAR very often, but when I do, I like there to be trucks involved. I'm going to the Camping World Truck Series. I'm taking Ben Rhodes to win outright. He's plus 1,400. The guy's name is Rhodes. How do you not win a NASCAR event with your last name is Rhodes? Just give it to him. Ben Rhodes all day.
Is he plus money?
Plus 1,400.
Yeah.
Good for a couple dollars.
Right?
That's right.
It's good for a couple of shekels on there. I'll throw some on there. What you got next, Isaac?
All right, so I'm taking Auburn's total points for the game against Georgia State. If you look, they only have it at 41.5. And Georgia State, if you look at their schedule this year, I believe they let up 55, 50, and 60 or something like that.
They were the team I was most wrong on this year. I was high on Georgia State coming into the season. They have disappointed me immensely.
Yeah, so I think Auburn covers 41.5 for the whole game. It's not cover. I'm sorry. They get the overall total points for that game. It's only 41.5. They put up 60 against I can't remember who a few weeks ago, but I think they do it again. Especially coming off a slow offensive week against Penn State where they only put up 20 points. So they'll come out with vengeance.
I like it. I like that play a lot. I'm almost if Georgia State goes from one of my darling teams to like almost on the auto fade list, that's one of the biggest swings the team has ever had. It's not looking great for them. Yeah. Chase, what we got next?
Just because I see it's an option, and this is just fun to me. Snooker. We got international tournaments, the Scottish Open, snooker. There can't be anything more British than a match of snooker. In fact, I found a genre of a video on Twitter and YouTube that I absolutely love, and that's snooker officials farting so loud that the person playing actually misses their next shot because they can't stop laughing. It happens. There are multiple videos, and I feel like when you're playing such an innately British game, much like I handicap by name sometimes. And I'm going to take the most British sounding name I can possibly find, and that is Liam Highfield.
That's a British
Scottish
fucking
Open
name.
Tomorrow. You don't get more British than Liam Highfield. You'd have to have the Union fucking Jack tattooed across his face. Liam Highfield in the Scottish Open against Zhao Zhanbo.
I like
Snooker
it.
Sounds like a British cuss word.
It does. God, British cuss words are the best. I don't know what they're saying, but I know it's dirty.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Speaking,
it gets the people going.
It gets them going. Speaking of handicapping by name, moving on over to Italian soccer, I'm taking Bologna on the money line. That's
Bologna.
It's probably not. It's Bologna. That's Bologna to me.
But it's still.
And that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Take him on the money line. Okay, we got time for one last pick. We'll start with Isaac. What is your last pick for the Jimnasium?
All right, last pick be Alabama versus Southern Miss first quarter over. I'm not taking the spread because it's 10.5 just in case Southern Miss hits a field goal or anything, but I know Alabama's offense is worth 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, especially against the FCS team, so I'll take it.
I like that's against Southern Miss too, a team that's had a decent amount of turmoil these past couple years.
Yeah.
Chase, your last pick for the show.
So if I think Clemson is on upset alert, who am I if I don't put my money where my mouth is and say, I want North Carolina State plus 315 on the money line. Those odds are just too juicy. And if I'm out here just running my mouth saying that Clemson has a chance to lose this game, who am I if I don't jump on those odds? A bitch. That's who I am.
That's fair. I don't hate it. I'm on a big money line myself. They're one of the worst teams in college football, but they're playing one of also the worst teams in college football, and I think they're the better coach team. I'm on the Kansas money line against Duke.
What?
I think Lance Leipold is. Yeah, I think these are both shit teams. They're both terrible, and I think Lance Leipold's a better coach. That's my main takeaway. I think Lance Leipold's a better coach. This team ran. They for like a half and maybe a part of a quarter, they were competitive against Coastal Carolina, and I think Duke is way worse than Coastal Carolina.
They also did
Charlotte.
They also did everything they could to lose against South Dakota.
It's fair. They shot themselves in the foot though, and South Dakota is a good FCS school.
Okay. There, I know that there are some season total players who are sweating. Who took the under 1.5 on Kansas wins that are sweating this Duke game tomorrow.
And I got one more thing because we have the parlay king himself. I did a little parlay of my auto fade team. So my parlay this week, I'll play this probably on my pick show tomorrow. I'm on Hawaii minus 17, BYU minus 23.5 versus South Florida, Wyoming minus 30.5 versus UConn, Coastal Carolina minus 36 versus UMass, Minnesota minus 31 versus Bowling Green, Georgia minus 35 versus Vanderbilt. It pays plus 5,145.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw it on. I'll throw the water bill on that one. I think water bill is only like $30 for me out here.
I mean,
good payout.
Yeah, you can find other water to put in your hot tub.
I mean, I could just use the water in my hot tub. It's been raining here decently, so I just get some rain catchers and I'll be fine.
Push come to shove, you can filter the spit from your body. I think that'll work.
Or I could always. I have a key to use the weight room at the local high school. I can use the locker room there.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Find some half empty water bottles.
Exactly. I'll be fine. We're gonna finish off. We have our circa picks that me, Chase, and the other BTV boys have going into this week. It's picks by committee. So some picks I might not agree with, some picks Chase might not agree with fully, but this is a democracy we have. We go by committee, we go by vote. Here they are. We are on the Cardinals minus 7.5.
Okay.
The Seahawks minus 1.5. This one I was kind of like iffy on, but I like that we're backing my boy Heineke. Washington football team plus 7.5. This is the risky one Chase was on. Falcons plus 3. And we are on the Jets plus 10.
Okay. I'm skeptical about Washington.
That's the only one I'm really kind of like iffy
team.
on.
Yeah, anytime I put my money on the NFC East team, I'm scared. It doesn't matter. Like if they could be 10-0 that year, I'm still scared. So
also shout out to my boy. I hope he gets a decent amount of play this week. The other XFL legends in the NFL, Donald Parham for the Chargers. I hope he got a touchdown called back last week, which was bullshit. And Jacquez Patrick, the leading rusher of the XFL, is now on the 49ers. I would excited to see what he could do in that Kyle Shanahan offense. I am fucking excited. That'll do it for this episode of the Jimnasium Picks Porch. Isaac, shout out your shit. Where can the people find you?
All right, so I'm on Twitter, Instagram at Isaac Avant, ISAAC AVANT, and then you can find my print and embroidery business at 3 Stacks M. If you want to chat about any picks or anything, just hit my personal pages. My DMs are always open.
Hell fucking yeah. Chase, what about you, my man?
You can always find me being abrasive on Twitter. I am at of Oaklawn. That is OF in the word Oaklawn. I'm always here with my boy XFL Jim in the Jimnasium. You can catch us Friday nights. You can catch us Saturday mornings with Campus Profits on BTV. You can also catch us Sunday mornings with Fantasy Foreplay, also on BTV, and then Sunday night we wrap it up with the Jimnasium.
The good old Jimnasium. You all know where to find me. Twitter at XFL Jim. YouTube XFL Jim. Just posted the video of mine and Chase's team parlay, the little teamwork parlay. Didn't work out as amazingly, but it's a nice story that will unfold before your eyes. And I'm back to posting on TikTok. I'm posting TikTok regularly every day. So hit me up on TikTok at XFL Gym, and make sure just give the Jimnasium a like, give it a follow. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on every podcast platform. We're on better than fucking Vegas. And make sure you're using nitrobetting.eu for the best crypto book experience. If you're watching this online, you can see it scrolling down below. It's nitrobetting.eu/ref equals BTV. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Jimnasium Picks Porch, and we fucking out of here.